We are live. Thank you guys for joining us, whether you're watching it live currently, which there's nobody.
You're fucking frozen, bro.
Really?
Right off the bat.
Or you're checking out the VOD afterwards. Thank you for joining. And thank you for the support on Patreon if you support us there, as well as checking out my channel, as well as Jeremy's channel. Even though you won't see any new uploads, he has tons of classics.
Tons of classic shit.
You can still check out. So what this is here, we're going to do what we normally do. Just shoot the shit a little bit. Not kick the shit. That wouldn't be good. Shoot the shit a little bit. What does that actually mean? Is people like shooting?
I don't know. We're
like
just
bullshit with.
Well, we can't do small talk because you don't like small talk.
I don't like small talk. Speaking of small talk, when I go to a new restaurant, right? I've never been there before. Just something that I want to try out. I always judge the restaurant based on how good their cheeseburgers are.
Look at that phone ring.
This isn't the show. This isn't a show. It doesn't matter. Or I'll get a Philly cheesesteak. And if their Philly cheesesteak sucks, I don't want no part of the restaurant because they're really easy to do.
Okay, that's kind of fucking random.
Well, it was small talk.
Okay.
So, as always, if you're watching live, you want to drop some comments in the YouTube chat. We will answer questions. You can feed us topics, all that good stuff. We will answer questions or talk horror news. We're probably going to talk a little bit of 1982.
I don't know why I'm sick of fucking year shows.
Moods already has 4 down.
Oh, fuck Moods. What's up, Mr. Edgar Sanchez? The man himself.
Edgar Sanchez is such a reliable.
Did you see that movie that freaking Bill posted today that he was going to make you watch?
Yeah.
It's like a gay porno.
Barebacula.
Yeah, it's totally a gay porno.
I'm not watching that.
If he gives it to you, you have to watch it.
Maybe.
No, maybe. I've watched my fair share of shit. You got to watch it.
That's like, I'm not, like, I can't justify watching gay porn at my house. I'm just saying.
Well,
what the hell is going on with this phone?
It's fucking bill collectors, bro.
What is up, Edgar, homie? Glad that you are joining us. As always, like I said, Edgar is such a reliable listener. He shows up all the time, always dropping comments and stuff like that. We appreciate it, sir. We salute you. You are awesome.
Showing.
I already got 7 viewers up in here. This is like breaking.
Wow, that's way more than anybody's ever come and watch my fucking Monster Vision live streams. So many people love me. Fucking assholes. So feel free to drop comments in the chat if you want us to talk about anything, ask us questions. We will be as candid as possible and try to be as entertaining as possible for you guys out there. One thing that I did want to say is I eventually do want to get a better webcam. My webcam's really trash, but it's just I got a new one too. It's been like so long since I've bought it. Like you get that blue flickering. It's like spend all this money on a computer. I guess I should buy a webcam that doesn't suck cock. And now I'm alone. I'm gonna have to carry the breeze.
I just walked over to the other side of the room real quick. I'm back.
You're still frozen, so I don't know what's going on. I mean, you're not frozen on YouTube, but on my end, you're frozen, so.
That's weird.
I know. It's fucking Internet Explorer shittiness.
Why don't you use Chrome like every other G out there? Dude. What is up with this phone? So we have Carly in the chat. Oh, so this be why you be replying worded shadily. You're busy blowing Jeremy.
I mean,
have we seen the production still from the set of 3 from Hell?
Oh, great. So we're going to have this long discussion that we already had on the 22 Shots, Moods, and Horror page, facebook.com search bar, 22 Shots, Moods, and Horror. Long conversation over there.
Well, I mean, I think that it's kind of interesting right now. I think that that's a hot topic in the horror world, and I can see why. It's one of the greatest endings in horror history, if not the best ever, that being The Devil's Rejects. And to kind of nullify that by, going in and changing what we thought, it can rub people very wrong. So I think that it is a very interesting topic. I'm curious, what do you actually think about it, Jeremy?
Me?
Yeah.
Does it really matter? It's already done, so it's going to be what it's going to be.
Will it make you mad, though, if it's a dream?
I think everything's already made me mad. It's bullshit. Those fuckers are dead.
Okay. But what would you be willing to accept?
Especially Spaulding. Like, that motherfucker's like 80, and he got shot like 7 times. He'd be croaked after the first one, let alone the fucking 6th or 7th one. I don't know. I think they should have just been done with it after Rejects and should have just left it.
Well, I think that most people agree that the films probably should have ended at Rejects.
Yeah.
I mean, I think 90% of horror fans would agree that that is a perfect way to end it. But if you are going to make a sequel, what is the best possible route into that sequel? Is it to A, make it a dream sequence, B, make it they just survived the shots, C, supernatural? And if you pick one of those, is it worth the trade-off of getting another adventure with these characters?
I think supernatural would be the only logical explanation in this scenario.
Would you be okay with the film series heading the supernatural route, though?
I mean, they kind of already were a little bit supernatural.
I think the first film definitely lended itself to a supernatural existence.
Yeah, like all that shit that's happening at the end of the film is kind of supernatural. I mean, you got all these fucking people down there.
Yeah.
You know, weird and shit. So I would assume there's some sort of supernatural aspect in that sense. So, I mean, I would assume some deal with the devil or something like that is going to be the supernatural aspect they're going to have. So,
And also, you know, one cool thing about the 3 from Hell is that it will allow us to cover a trilogy, which I know a lot of people have been wanting us to talk the Firefly family for quite a while now. So it would give us an opportunity to cover it while it's hot, you know, with a new film. I know Jeremy will probably be there day one, as will I. Moods probably won't be because he probably won't get it.
But the question is it going to be theatrical or not? Is something
that is a very interesting question.
It's what 10 years ago since the Devil's Rejects. So are people really, besides the horror community, are people really going to remember this franchise and be interested in going to see it?
It'll probably be closer to 12 years by the time we actually see it.
I'd probably say no. I think either the VOD route is probably going to be the best ideal situation for this one.
31 had a mini theatrical though, because I saw it in the theater.
I mean, I saw Lord Salem, and I've seen every film of his in the theater besides House of 1,000. So I would assume, of course, pretty much every movie has some sort of limited theatrical release, even if it's in 50 theaters. It still shows on the big screen some way or another, at least once. So I'm not saying that it won't show on the big screen, but I don't think a wide release is probably the best scenario for this one, simply because it just has a dedicated fan base in the community, but the mainstream audiences, I think, have either one grown up and moved on past these films. It's not like a Chucky or a Freddy or Jason that people are always going to remember. I just be like, oh, who's going to remember the Devil's Rejects, which came out 12 years ago, and I don't really think people are going to care that much. So,
yeah, it's kind of interesting because you have an interesting trajectory for Mr. Rob Zombie. Like, it's surprising that House of 1,000 got a wide theatrical, because it did.
Yeah, but he had to fight for it, though.
I think it was also that, but also it was the time. It was, if you made an indie horror film and you were a name, you could have a good chance of getting it picked up and put out theatrical, especially because you have that question mark of like, oh, Rob Zombie made a film. Like, let's see what this is. So that makes sense. And then obviously the Halloween film is going to be theatrical. And then Devil's Rejects coming hot off of Halloween makes sense that would be theatrical. And then H2, also a Halloween film theatrical. But then since then, you had Lords of Salem, which was not a very wide release. I'm going to shut that phone off in a second. And then you had 31, which was, I think, maybe a little bit wider than Lords, maybe about the same.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think when I saw Lords of Salem, I don't think it was a big theatrical release. I think it was a small one. I mean, I think in the niche theaters, I mean, I saw it at an AMC, so I think the bigger AMCs, which get some of these indie horror films, probably will have it. I think it's just down the line of, I think Lionsgate is just going to have to do a bunch of test screenings and just see and gauge what the interest is in audiences and if it's worth it to invest all this money into it to release in mainstream. So
yeah, I'll be very curious to see where it ends up, but obviously we will see it. It'll be something that we're all talking about at the time. Rob Zombie really needs to bounce back for me personally to have him as high as I did in terms of filmmakers that I love. I mean, he was a top 5 filmmaker for me, and I just really didn't like 31. I mean, I gave it a positive-ish review, positive-ish score. But the more I thought about it and the more time that passed, I realized that movie was honestly not good. It was a bad movie.
Mm-hmm.
So Austin says, "What's up? What's up, homie?" Edgar says he hopes it's theatrical. Mi-sung Park says, "I have movie 2."
Well, we know I would not accept him in the Facebook page after that comment. So
Cara do horror. Hello from Brazil. So I think that 3 from Hell is going to be supernatural, something to do with Dr. Satan, since the first one there is some strange supernatural. I would love to see the return of Dr. Satan. I would be okay with supernatural. I just don't want it to be non-stop supernatural, right? Like, can't you know?
No, I just think there's gonna be some sort of supernatural explanation about how they lived, and I think that will be it. I think it's gonna just go back to how they're going to get out of their situation with the cops and that storyline. I really don't think it's going to be full-blown supernatural.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess this just hasn't been enough information about the film to make an educated guess about what's going to be about.
Yeah,
really.
We know that the one thing that we know is that they are caught. That's the one thing that we know. So whether they survived miraculously like Jason and it's some sort of supernatural thing, or they survived like 50 Cent where they got shot 9 times and lived, or whatever the case is, it's a dream sequence. I would much rather have them just live, or just my perfect scenario would be them to have lived, but have the hint of supernatural. Like, that there's some that's weird that they lived, and there's some sort of elements around it that doesn't make sense. I would like that because it would be enough of a hint at supernatural for you to accept it, but it wouldn't be as bullshit as they just got shot a bunch of times and lived. So that's what my hope is. I really, really, really don't want it to be a dream sequence. I fucking hate dream sequences. They annoy me. It just seems like everything that truly completely retcons the original ending. Like, the other things just kind of extend it and extinguish it a little bit, but that completely removes it if you have it a dream sequence, and I don't like that. So that's our brief opinions on 3 from Hell. I think, to say the least, everybody's pretty excited about it.
You hear Mike Flanagan's directing Dr. Sleep.
I did hear that. And Flanagan's been great. Every film that I've seen from him, I've enjoyed. I haven't seen Absentia. I've recently picked it up, which I know that is probably what people consider one of his best films.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that?
No, I still have to watch it.
Yeah. I'm very curious on that. I'll definitely check that out.
Well, it says that it got picked up. Warner Brothers greenlit it, and it has a release date of January 24th, 2020. So we're still close to 2 years away, but I'm curious to see adult Danny Torrance and what they do with that.
I don't know much about the book itself. So
well, it says Danny Torrance as an adult, and and stuff like that, and his psychic abilities. And I read it when it first came out. I'm trying to remember a lot of it, but I know that it's really just about Danny Torrance as an adult who's still fucked up.
I actually have that book. I got it for Christmas a couple years ago. I just never read it.
Yeah.
Totally forgot about that. Austin asked where Moods is at.
What do you think he is? He's never here.
He's never here. His time like zone is a lot different than ours, and you know. What's up, Jerry?
Oh no.
What up, homie?
Let's see, what else do we got here? Leigh Whannell might not write Insidious 5. That is interesting.
Has it been greenlit? Holy crap.
I mean, I would assume it'd be greenlit. The fourth one was the second highest grossing of the series. So.
Isn't that weird? That is so weird to me.
Yeah.
I would think 2 would have done
it. Was. 2's number 1.
And then I would have thought
it's 2, 4, 3, 1. 1's the last.
That's crazy. Because I remember when Insidious came out, also Scream 4 came out, and everybody was talking about how Insidious did much better than Scream 4. So that really puts into perspective what Scream 4 did. Did you see this? That apparently A Quiet Place has outgrossed Get Out.
Yep.
What the hell happened there? That's crazy.
What is that movie on the top shelf? Which one? This one? This one? This one?
Der Todesking? I think it's talking about Der Todesking.
This one is Wild Boys, which is an awesome show.
Oh, this.
I heard they're making a YouTube Red revival of Wild Boys with Pontius and Steve-O. It's not going to be called Wild Boys, but I heard that they're both in on it. I think it's already been shot.
See, here's the thing with Insidious 4. I feel like if you love Insidious 1, you love Insidious 2, you really liked Insidious 3, I feel like Insidious 4 is more of the same. So unless you're tired of the same, I think you should like Insidious 4. I love all 4 of the Insidiouses. I think they're great. They're Insidious. I think they're awesome. They're good movies. I can see why you would grow tired of what they're doing, because it is the same shit every time. But I don't know. I think they're spooky and I like them.
Spooky. And it has a lady from the Dry Rock City. That's all that matters.
Moto Rad is a Brazilian horror flick released this year. No, we haven't.
That's a cool title.
Yeah, we actually have not watched. Speaking from myself personally, I have not watched many 2018 horror films unless they were theatrical.
There hasn't been like that many.
The buzz is very down for 2018.
Yeah, Warner Brothers is distributing this movie. Interesting.
But now that you mention it, it'll be on my radar. Have you seen it, Kara? Is it any good, Kara? If it is, let us know.
For Insidious, please. Let's see what else we got here. Did Jason Voorhees really almost appear in Waxwork?
Yeah, I actually knew that from the commentary. They said the director, forget his name.
Ooh, the night clerk checks in, the broad from Knock Knock. See, those 2 characters need to come back because they were fucking insane. They were fucking awesome characters. Yeah, I don't know. I think I might revisit that film down the line.
Yeah. Here's one thing that I kind of wanted to do a little bit. I just wanted to take a look at some 82 films and gauge your brief expectations for the year. So obviously our next top 10 show, if you haven't listened to the 1976 show, check it out. It's a pretty good time. Our next year that we pulled is 82. You didn't really say much about it because we were recording forever and we were all exhausted, but what was your instant expectations? You're like hyped for it. Like, how did you feel when we pulled that year?
That I can't believe 97 was in second. And that how close we were to being absolutely miserable for the second time in a row of watching shit. I mean, it's good. At least, you know, it's not a shitty year with some shitty films. And like, I didn't know how many semi-solid films actually came out in 82 that is actually going to be, you know, semi-enjoyable to watch. I mean, you got The Thing, Poltergeist, Swamp Thing, which is
Okay, let me ask you this then. So, obviously, just to take a look at a few of these titles real quick, obviously, this is one of the biggest titles, right? The Thing. Everybody loves The Thing. I'm curious to see if it'll end up on, you know, all the number ones, a couple of the number ones. I don't know.
But Pee-wee, fucking Paul Rubens is in it. That's why.
Really?
I've never heard of that movie.
Okay, so The Thing came out in 1982, obviously. Scientists in Antarctica are confronted by a shape-shifting alien that assumes the appearance of people and it kills. So, Jeremy, you've seen The Thing before, right?
Well, clearly.
Okay, what is your, like, do you love The Thing, like, you know, some of the hosts that are going to be on the show? Or is it just a film that you think is good, but it's never been one of your favorites?
I mean, it's a classic, but it's not like, you know, like every time I have to watch The Thing every October or something like that. I mean, we've talked about it a shit ton about how the film wasn't as high on our list on the top 50. I think it was higher on the list on both the 50 and the 100, just because, you know, it really didn't meet the criteria for a lot of the things that we were talking about when we made that list. So, I mean, I like The Thing. I think it's good. Everything, the atmosphere is amazing, of course, and things like that.
How many times have you seen it?
I don't know, 4 or 5 times.
When's the last time you've seen it?
I don't know, like probably 2013.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you this.
I want to see it on 70 millimeter. Really,
I was going to say, did you ever see it theatrically?
No, but I want to see. It's never shown here on 70 millimeter.
Very surprising to me because that movie plays a lot.
Yeah,
I've seen it. So that's interesting. But I think that it's pretty awesome seeing theatrical. I'll tell you that. Okay, what about Poltergeist? Tobe Hooper directed, maybe. Steven Spielberg directed, probably. This film obviously stars, you know, a family that moves into a house, and it turns out it was built on, spoiler alert, Indian burial ground. How many times have you seen Poltergeist?
Lots.
And what is
7 or 8 times probably.
Do you love Poltergeist like some people do?
I like it a lot. I think that a lot of that has to do with nostalgia towards the film. I watched it growing up quite a few times, so I think I have some, and I think it pushed the boundaries in the sense that the film was advertised as a PG film, and that film really pushed the boundaries with some crazy ass shit. And I think that is what, you know, was etched in my mind growing up, that of course the bathroom sequence and the scene towards the end of the film in the swimming pool, I think, you know, I will have to revisit it because it's been, again, a few years. I have seen that one theatrically. It's been a few years since I've seen it, but I mean, I always enjoyed the film. I mean, I don't think I really watched it before with a critical eye, so I think I'm going to have to watch it that way, but I've never had a problem with it.
I've never had a situation or a chance to actually watch that film with a critical eye, along with a lot of these films on here, which always sort of changes how I view the film, either for the better or for the worse, because you're looking at it differently. You're looking at it in terms of what you're going to say when you review it. And I think that it definitely is interesting to see a lot of these films. Like, I've never watched a Friday the 13th film really with a critical eye. So part 3 is obviously from 1982. So that's very interesting to do that, since I'm such a huge fan of the series, see where it ends up. But after that, we have Swamp Thing, a Wes Craven film from obviously 1982. This one, do you know much about this film, Jeremy? Have you seen it before?
Ever seen it?
Okay, so what it is, it's about a guy who is developing a new sort of serum, or, you know, something that's going to make plants grow faster. It's going to make the world a better place because they'll be able to feed the population better. A group of crooks, including David Hess, comes in and wrecks the equipment and like tries to steal the formula.
So it sounds like Dick Shark, but much better.
Yeah, the doctor gets the material on him. He's burning to death. He falls in the swamp and becomes the Swamp Thing because the serum, or, you know, chemical blended with the slime in the swamp, and you got Swamp Thing. Meanwhile, it has Adrienne Barbeau trying to stop them. It's interesting because it's one of the first, comic book adaptations of, modern history. And obviously it was a DC property. I don't know what year Batman came out, but I think Batman was doing his thing. But it was kind of it was not it was not a main, Batman, Superman, X-Men. It was, I think Swamp Thing's a little lesser known, but it's much more action oriented than horror. Actually, this was the first one I watched for this prep. I started already as well with moods, and I'm at one. I'm at one film, and I mainly watched it because I got that screener copy of Return of Swamp Thing, and I wanted to check it out. I don't know if you'll love it. It's honestly not my favorite Craven film by any means.
Seems like it's not a lot of people's favorite Craven films.
Yeah, it's weird that David Hess is in it and he's playing like not David Hess like he normally plays. Okay. One more for now, and then we'll come back to these after we talk about some other stuff. But Friday the 13th, Part 3. This one follows Part 2. This is where Jason gets the hockey mask, in case you didn't know. I know you're kind of a Friday the 13th.
I knew that.
Okay. Do you remember Part 3? When's the last time you seen it?
10 years ago, probably.
Yeah. This will probably refresh your memory. It has the
to be honest, I probably won't watch it until we do the franchise show, because I'm not going to fucking watch the first two and then be hooked and then watch the entire franchise. Then I'm going to have to watch the entire franchise again. So,
well, I doubt we're doing the franchise before the 82 show. So you might have to just kind of watch Part 3 by itself.
Yeah.
But it's honestly a hit and miss with fans. I think a lot of people do like it, but I remember years ago it was like one of the lesser popular titles. Now it seems to come around, and it seems to be one of people's favorite titles in the series. It's actually grown on me quite a bit. It's a good Friday the 13th. If you watch it in 3D, I think that it's a lot more fun too, but it's the shitty red and green 3D.
I'm surprised they never released it. Well, 3D Blu-ray is kind of dead now, but
yeah,
I'm surprised they never released it in a standard 3D version.
Yeah, I think it's because Paramount doesn't give a fuck about Friday the 13th, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a fun one. I think that it's cheesy. It has that synthy, weird music that's it's specific to Friday the 13th 3. But it's pretty awesome. I can't wait to actually revisit it, because I was looking at my past ratings. Last time I watched Friday the 13th Part 3 was before 2011, because I don't have it marked down. So before 2011, that is such a long time. That's obviously 8 years ago. So I'm excited to check that out. But going on in the chat, somebody said, Little Dead Meat says, we want 22 shots merch. I really want to do that too, man. We're kind of slacking on it right now, but it's something that we have on our minds, something that we'll get to later on. But yeah, we will do that. Edgar Sanchez says Swamp Thing is the shit. Andy, where are you? They mentioned Swamp Thing. Austin's talking about his brother. Missing
Andy.
Park.
They're not
I
talking
never
about
saw it. Friday the 13th is okay. Hey, that person's a real person.
What person?
Sung Park.
Well, he still doesn't get in the page.
Austin 424. Tenebrae is from 82. Gento represent. Yeah, I think Tenebrae will be
in somebody's list.
Sprouted throughout people's lists,
especially moods.
Yes, I mean, and I don't know Christian's vibes on Argento. I know Dave and Brandon are. Actually, I think Brandy likes Brandy likes Fulci more than Argento. I like Argento personally more than Fulci.
Well, clearly you fucking pick him every year, dude.
That's because I'm just curious to get through his filmography, and I think he's just
got 2 more years to go.
3. We could fit 3 more years.
Fucking hell.
But
do we really want to review Dracula 3D, bro?
I do. I've never seen it.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so if you guys have any questions, drop them down below. Jeremy, have anything else news-wise? What's going on?
Trying to think of anything interesting we could talk about.
Well, while you're looking for that, I'll just throw this out here. Random thought that popped into my head. I was at Walmart the other day and I seen that they released, you know how they were doing those, they were taking seasons of TV shows and they were putting them in those like slim, not like slim packs, but like basic just flipper disc packs where it's not flipper discs.
Like Twilight Zone and like,
yeah, those they're just releases. Super basic, like
Friday the 13th
DVD cases. They just have, well, I seen that they did one for South Park, which I knew they did one, but they did it for Blu-ray.
Really?
1 through 5.
Are you sure they're Blu-ray?
I'm pretty sure.
I haven't heard them being on Blu-ray.
But yeah, I wanted to buy that because it was like $35. I thought that was a really good deal. I've been really craving South Park lately. I haven't watched like the past like 3 seasons. But
what do you think about The House with the Clock in the Wall is going to be PG? What do you think about finally? Well, I guess Goosebumps.
Yes, but in fact, it is Blu-ray. Season 1 through 5, Blu-ray, and it is wow. Wait, this is the DVD version on the website. But I just seen a video where somebody was showing off the blues. Yeah, Blu-ray unboxing. Yeah, so that's a thing. 1 through 5 is on Blu-ray.
You don't want to answer my question of how do you think Eli Roth is going to handle a family horror film?
Well,
I mean, he did fucking pretty much kind of made the term torture porn, even though it sucks dick, into the everyday common language. So, I mean, see him do a fucking family movie.
We've seen Eli Roth capable of directing a director for hire type job with Death Wish. I mean, it was pretty basic, you know, it felt like a basic attempt. I think it'll do good. Will it appeal to us? I don't know.
I'm going to see it.
I'll see it too.
I think it looks pretty cool.
Does that have a release date?
Yeah. September 21st.
All right, let's see here. Carly says, if I was a 22-shot Tenebrae, it would not be on my list.
Fake. Oh, fuck you, Carly. I don't give a care if your ass graduated today. Fuck you.
Edgar Sanchez, what are you guys most anticipating to get in terms of new Blu-ray releases? Mine's the new In the Mouth of Madness release.
That's a good pick.
I'm actually very interested in that Last House on the Left Arrow edition. I don't love that film, but I just think that release just looks so awesome.
Well, it's like the Hills Have Eyes release. You know, you're probably going to get quality. So,
which the Hills Have Eyes was quality. I recently got my copy of It's Alive trilogy. I guess I was really excited for that. So, those were 2 things. I recently got those Severin Zombie 3 and 4s. Those were pretty interesting looking.
Return of the Living Dead Part 2.
Oh, there you go. There's a good one. Return of the Living Dead Part 2. Yeah, that's an exciting release.
That's a good one. Especially if they do it right and not make it shitty.
Carly says, man, I'm like the Jeremy of this chat.
What, you suck?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's all right.
I would like to cover the zombie films one day.
Fuck you. I said that last week on our chat. You didn't say anything.
I said I would like to.
No, you said they're bad.
I said they're bad, but I would like to cover them. Here's the thing, though. It would be the first time in history that we covered a film that we already have covered in zombie.
Yeah.
Which would be fine. I don't care that you weren't on it, so it actually is
different.
It's better of a reason too than if all 3 of us had done it before.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that the zombie franchise would be fun. Just something different. Maybe we could actually do that for a tie-in month instead of a director for one of the, or maybe not. Maybe we could just do it. I don't know. It's fun, right?
Sure.
I've seen them all.
Yeah.
The fifth one's pretty bad. The fourth one's not good either.
Well, they're not even really zombie films. I just slapped with the title.
I mean, they all are zombie movies.
I mean, of course, they're zombie movies, but they're not like franchise.
No, there's like no continuity or anything like that.
They're just by title franchise.
Yeah. All right, let's see what else we have here for 82. Get some more opinions from you because I'm interested. I don't know what your thoughts are on a lot of these films. All right, what about Creepshow? George A. Romero classic anthology film, considered one of the greatest anthology films of all time. 5 short stories with George A. Romero teaming up with the wonderful Stephen King. How many times have you seen Creepshow?
Once.
When?
6 years ago.
Did you love it?
I don't remember.
So that's a rewatch. You got.
Oh yeah.
Creepshow to me is a film that I do like. I think it's solid. It's awesome. I've never been in love with it like other people. In fact, my favorite segment is one that most people consider their least favorite segment, which was the weird thing, the strange thing that happened to Jordan, whatever the fuck, the Stephen King one where the meteor comes from the
crash.
Sky. Yeah.
I have to say that Just the Cert is an awesome documentary on that film, by the way.
Yeah, I need to see that. I've never seen it still. Okay, so Creepshow you're not too familiar with.
Yeah.
How about Cat People? The remake of the Val Lewton classic.
Never seen it.
Wow. I can tell you this. You might like it. It's a little art housey.
I like the original a lot. So
I like the original too. This one's a little art housey, man. Yeah. I don't love it. I really didn't enjoy it that much. It's long. It's like 2 hours. But some people absolutely love it. So it's one of those.
Is it a good remake? Is a question.
No.
It's
not really. It's like more like Name kind of.
Reimagining. Is that a good term for it?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one. It's a weird movie. I don't know if it. I don't know. But it's one that you might want to check out. It has a great visual style to it, especially towards the end and stuff like that. But it's not one that I would run back to. I might not even watch it for the. That's probably one of the only ones I'm skipping for this. Just because I'd watched it fairly recently, only a couple years ago. I know it has no chance of making my list, and I just don't want to spend the 2 hours on it. Okay, how about this one? Amityville 2: The Possession.
All these films I haven't fucking seen in a long time.
You've seen Amityville 2 though?
A long time ago. I know you always talk about the incest and how much you love it. So,
how long ago have you seen it?
Well, this one's VHS days, so
okay, so
15 years ago.
This is a long time ago.
Long
time.
I'll
tell you this: Amityville 2 is one of my favorite sequels of all time. It is a very good movie. I would be surprised if it didn't make some lists. I don't know if it'll make my list because there's a lot of heavy hitters here, but I do really love Amityville 2. It follows the much better story of the Amityville history. There was 2 main families, the DeFeo family and the Lutz family. We know the Lutz family, that's Amityville 1. They're the ones that moved into the house and got haunted and left. But the more interesting story is that of the DeFeo family, which in Amityville 2, it's the Montellis, and name change or whatever. But yeah, it's really cool. Definitely more pulled away from the real life story, and it's more in fantasy.
It's more about the narrative than the reality and the story.
Yeah, it goes like full-blown Exorcist at one point, so it's a little weird, but I've always loved Amityville 2. It's a great movie to throw on in the October season especially. All right, one more for right now, and then we'll move on to something else for a little bit. We have The Entity. This is a film that we actually personally covered back in the first 20 episodes. This is the story following Barbara Hershey, where she is actually raped repeatedly by an unknown entity. And yeah, I think we were all pretty high on it. I haven't seen it since then. Have you?
No, of course not. It's fucking 2 hours and 5 minutes long.
Yeah, so
it's good though. I remember the ending. We had a huge discussion about the ending of the film and how
I think
that
that's
all
the
went
weakest
down.
part.
Yeah, it's
but
the third act when they're in that set or whatever the fuck. Sound stage, like house,
lasers and shit or something. I remember. Yeah, so the entity is one that we're kind of I think a rewatch will definitely be in store for that one to see where it ends up, if it can make my list or not. But Carly says, really truly like Amityville 1 more. Well, Carly, you're wrong often a lot, so just let you know.
Like all the time? I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Austin also says he likes the original more, but 2 is a good sequel. Again, it's Austin. What do you expect? The Entity was just above average for me. That's insane, dude. I mean, filmmaking alone puts that film above average. The score,
yeah, it's like a really well-made movie.
Shocking.
It's a really
the score is like, it is scary. When she first gets raped, it's terrifying. So what else?
Want to talk about Festron?
Yeah, sure.
How they should probably, now that Scream Factory, I think, is starting to release some better titles than what they've had in the past. I think Festron needs to step up their game and not release films from those fucking 8-packs.
Well, I mean, they're almost done with the 8-packs.
I know, but it's like, then what are they going to do? Do you think they're going to actually dig in and release some, Rumpelstiltskin and weird-ass films like that? Or are they just
it's weird.
Die?
I was hearing that guy talk a little bit, and it sounds like to me that a lot of the rights that we assume that they have, they actually don't have. So I don't know who the hell has them. I know that their next release is Dagon, which was not in that multi-pack, which was cool. And then
Beyond Reanimator.
Which I know
like everybody's releasing now.
Yeah, so also in Australia, Umbrella Entertainment has started like a new line.
Yeah, like all these companies are doing lines now. It's Festron and MVD Classic Collection, and now Umbrella's doing one. So it seems like all these companies are trying to cash in on the niche collectors market with some of these more obscure and weird films. So
have you watched any of those?
Yeah, I watched
DVDs?
DOA and Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
I wish they would like put like better discard on their releases and not have shit white background, art on the disc. They're kind of shitty looking, but besides that, they're nice packages and everything.
The packages are great. They really are awesome looking.
Yeah. Of course, they just have to number them to fucking make collectors OCD.
Yeah, but you know what? If you're a collector and you can't stand that shit, tear the slipcover off and just put it on your wall thing.
But then you know that they're really numbered deep down inside.
Wow, I didn't even pay attention to that, but you're right. Shitty artwork.
Everyone's like that, bro. It sucks. It's like how hard is it to slap even the freaking cover image on there or something?
Yeah, so far I'm not overly impressed with the selection of films that they've put out. I haven't seen the first 2 releases, DOA, the first 3 actually.
DOA it's interesting for what it is. I mean, I reviewed a shit ton of punk documentaries back in the day for MVD. I just found them really interesting to watch because every part of the country, I mean, the overall theme of punk music has stayed the same, but each part of the country had a different style and a different, kind of punk music. So I watched a whole bunch of these punk documentaries that MVD released over the years, and it's okay. It's just more of a time capsule more than a documentary. I mean, they really don't have like in-depth interviews about the Sex Pistols and things like that. Like I said, it's more interesting as a time capsule. And it's a core release, it's never had a release or anything like that. So I think they need to release more films like that and not films like, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, which is a cool film.
No, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes desperately needed a re-release because it, first of all, it wasn't on Blu-ray. Second of all, it was a film that was out of print on its special edition, so it needed a re-release. There's like 5 of those movies, which is pretty crazy. I've only seen the first one. But also here, they recently released this film, Savannah Smiles. Like these are very weird. I'm not used to getting stuff that is so far beyond like.
I think the Coney Island one sounds pretty cool.
It does. I started watching it, but I fell asleep.
Kind of want to watch that one.
Savannah Smiles was very weird. It's a very weird movie. So it basically follows these 2 criminals. Like they're like crooks, right? They steal shit, but they're like bumbling criminals. They remind you of like if you took like Cheech and Chong or like any type of duo and made them like rednecky and dumb and I don't know, weird. And all of a sudden this kid falls into their lap. This like little like 9-year-old girl like runs away from home, and then they're like stuck with her, and it's almost like a family film in a way. Like in reality,
it's not like Baby Does Best, whatever that fucking movie is.
I kept thinking of like All Dogs Go to Heaven or something.
Oh
like,
man, that movie sucks.
What?
I haven't seen it in a long time.
All Dogs Go to Heaven is a classic.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
You have like the tough street dog, Charlie. And then you have the little sidekick dog who's like way sweeter and nicer to the little girl, and that's like these 2 characters. Like one's like really nice to the little girl, the other one's like a hardened criminal. But they both like the little girl eventually warms both of their hearts and stuff like that. But in reality, if this was going on, these guys would be fucking hunted down and murdered.
Hold the phone. Edgar Sanchez says Severin is the best in terms of foreign horror and exploitation. Hell no. Vinegar Syndrome is the best.
They don't release a ton of foreign, though.
Yeah, but exploitation, they're the best.
Yeah, exploitation for sure. Savannah Smiles, it's not my cup of tea, but I didn't hate the movie. It's very weird. It has like a super hicky soundtrack, and it's very, very strange movie. Like just because it is a weird movie to be on like a cult films collection, you know. It's just
did they say they're supposed to be cult films?
Well, I mean, I assume that like Return of the Killer Tomato or Attack of the Killer Tomatoes and Return to Swamp Thing and like that one like Jean-Claude Van Damme movie or whatever. Like it just seemed like it was a cult label. I mean, this might be a cult film for all I know, but it was okay. Return to Swamp Thing, that movie was just
okay.
I mean, it's campy as hell.
Well, it's a Warnowski film, so what do you expect?
It's probably one of the better directed Warnowski films, honestly.
Yeah, because he's fucking reviewed a shit ton of porn parodies. What do you expect?
But I'll tell you what, man. It has probably one of the cringiest scenes I've ever seen. It is so... Basically, the Swamp Thing is... He talks in this one. And he has a love interest in this girl. But they barely know each other. He saved her life from these like hick rapists. And she's like, she sees him again, and then she's like, I haven't something about previous boyfriends, and he's like, me or something, you know? And she's like, well, why not? And he's like, look at me or something, you know? And it's just like super cheesy. And then
I look like Jerry. How can you talk to me?
She's all like, what I see is a beautiful human soul on the inside, or so. I don't.
Get the fuck out of here!
It is the most cringiest bullshit, cheesy, fucking love interest story I've ever seen. And then
that shit sounds awful. They
proceed to like kiss. Oh. It's just like, dude, it is so like it almost fucking floored the movie. I was just like, this is the most retarded thing I've ever seen. I lowered it a fucking full point for that, man. It was so stupid. It was so stupid, man.
It sounds stupid.
I got this in the mail too. This is a 2018 movie, so
what is
I'm interested in this one. It's called Mimic, and it's Well Go USA. I didn't even know I was getting it, so it's pretty cool. I know Jason got it too.
Of course. Not me though, because people hate me now.
I think Arrow is done with me.
Why do you say that?
Because I didn't get the last two, the Bloodthirsty trilogy and.
Yeah, but like, did you get those huge box sets and things? Did Jason get them?
No, Jason didn't either, but other people did get them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I don't know.
Let's see. What Severin is the best in terms of foreign and horror and exploitation. I wish they would release more Jess Franco films. Not me.
Yeah, not me either.
Better calm down there, Jeremy. Don't make me come shut you down.
Fuck you, Jerry. Get the hell out of here. Nobody wants you here anyway, just like Andrew in Chicago. Get the hell out of here.
Well, at least Andrew is in Chicago.
Fuck you. Not anymore. Luckily, he left. I don't have to hear that bullshit anymore.
But, I mean, the MVD Rewind thing, so far the thing that I like most from them is they're not even released in the Violence movie 1 and 2.
That is an MVD Rewind.
I know. I said it's not even them. It's just it's them kind of, but not an official Rewind title.
I want to get that. That looks interesting.
Okay. Well, you're not gonna like it really.
I know, but I think the more there's features on it and stuff like.
But they're
talking about it.
They're not really that good.
Well, that sucks. That's the kind of release that
needs to have features. It's weird because the first movie's 15 minutes and the second movie's 20 minutes. So it is really like less than a full movie, worth of content. I just thought it was interesting because the first film is really bad. Like it's like the edits are shitty and it doesn't look good at all. The second film's actually really interesting because they actually do like stunts, like they're fighting on rooftops and shit. And I'm like, holy shit, like it's just kids doing this, It's a little dangerous. How'd they get their parents to let them do this? They're like getting drugged by cars and stuff.
What I've been seeing a lot on the page, on other people's pages, that's really pissing me off. People are fucking saying Revenge is not a horror film. These fuckers need to go and die. Seriously. How do you not? It is a horror film, 100%, but people are arguing that this movie is not a horror film. How is it a film that is about a girl getting raped and then being left for dead by 3 guys who are all scummy, and then she has to survive and kill these guys? How the fuck is that not a horror film? It's a classic rape revenge film, but this one is just, you have to suspend your disbelief quite a bit in this movie to make it work. But the fact that people are fucking arguing that this is not a horror film is fucking retarded. It's absolutely fucking retarded. And it boggles my mind that I have to fucking argue with these people on different pages who say that this movie is an action film. How the fuck is this movie an action film? Just because it has guns, it doesn't have no fucking explosions, high body counts, or anything like that you see in a fucking action movie. That is complete and utter bullshit. This movie is a horror film, and people who think it's not a horror film can go fuck off. It's annoying. All right. It's an interesting film. I don't really like it that much. It's good for what it is, but that pissed me off.
Huh. All right. Well, I'm still gonna check it out because it sounds rape is horrifying to me. So.
Yep.
Okay, so back to the 82. Here's another 4. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. I know you've seen this film. I know you've talked about it with me and Moods on the Halloween retrospect. Is that the last time that you watched it?
Yes.
I don't remember what you said about it. Did you like it?
Oh, yeah.
So you love Halloween 3?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Quite a bit.
So that's a contender for your list.
Towards the top end, looking at the list of films, maybe.
Okay. All right. I think I'm going to be in the minority on Halloween 3. I like Halloween 3 a lot, but I don't think it's a great movie. It is one of my favorites, though. So I'll see how that factors in. Basket Case, 1982. I know you've seen this. You weren't on the Basket Case show, but I know you got screeners of them later down the line.
Yeah. I think my franchise videos on my channel. Basket Case.
Which is one of your better videos.
It's okay, I guess. I don't really love it or anything. It just is what it is. It's a classic, low budget. You know, it's super influential in the low budget monster creature feature of the 80s kind of films. But I mean, it is what it is.
See, I love Basket Case. I think it's fantastic. It's one of my favorite of those type of films you just described. I love Henenlotter. I don't like Basket Case 2 and 3, but I love everything else he's done.
I like Basket Case. Basket Case 2 is interesting. Fucking makeup in that movie is outstanding. The creatures in that movie are awesome.
I don't like those creatures that much, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know if you've seen other.
It's like horror Muppet kind of style. It's not like crazy ass creatures. It's more like the Pee-wee Playhouse horror kind of creatures that you would expect in that movie. I don't know. I thought the creatures in that film
totally get that reference a lot. But I think that Basket Case is like Henenlotter in general is a very fun filmmaker. I don't know if you've seen his other works such as Brain Damage, which is definitely his best film.
Yeah, for sure.
It's so good.
Yeah.
As well as Frankenhooker and Bad Biology. Very solid movies as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that Basket Case will make a lot of people's lists. It seems like a fan favorite there. What else do we have here? Pieces, another film that we've actually covered on a free featured review. But one thing I'm very interested about is that was the only time I've ever seen it is when we covered it for that show.
Yep.
You too?
Yep.
I think we all liked it, but I think that's one that is definitely going to benefit from a rewatch because it's been so long. I barely remember anything about it other than it being very violent.
And it's like, it's widely talked about theme-wise. You know, I think it's an important film for the slasher genre in the sense of all the usual, you know, film theories that are talked about in slasher films. It's a pretty important film in that sense.
Yeah, it's also from what my memory, it almost was like a Spanish giallo in a way.
Mm-hmm.
All right, after that we have a film. This was a Roger Corman production, I believe. It is Forbidden World.
Never seen it.
Do you know anything about this?
No.
I don't know much about it. I've always seen this cover though, because it reminds me of like a giant like praying mantis on there. The tagline is part alien, part human, all nightmare. It says, in a distant future, a Federation marshal arrives at a research lab on a remote planet where a gigantic experiment has gotten loose and begins feeding on the dwindling scientific staff.
So it's a thing.
Sounds very similar to
it's
Alien.
Yeah. It's gonna be it's 77 minutes long. I have a feeling it's going to be your typical Corman.
Yeah, it's something we'll definitely
cocktail
check out. But yeah, I'm not confident that one's gonna make my list just based on first impressions based on like the synopsis and stuff. But
let's talk about some of the more obscure ones.
Okay, I mean, we're going down. It's about to get obscure here in a second, but back to the group chat. Legit question for y'all from Jerry. What is your favorite non-podcast group on Facebook? My favorite one is the MMA Droogs podcast, though I doubt that would, the MMA Droogs group. I doubt that would fancy you at all, though. I also really like the, it's like a hip hop podcast. I keep saying podcast. It's like a hip hop group. But I'm not really part of horror groups that aren't, and like some of the selling groups, like the collection groups and stuff, I guess are pretty cool. What about you?
I don't really like post or anything in groups. I've been part of this one Laserdisc group, Laserdisc Forever, for a while. They post a lot of stuff about, of course, Laserdisc. That's about it in group wise. Like I really don't post in other groups besides our group.
Pieces later, dude. See ya, missing goo park.
Sorry I didn't accept you on the Facebook page. Your English just sucks.
Bye, dude. All right. If you guys don't have any more questions, we'll check out more of these.
You know what movie I wanted to rewatch that I haven't watched in a while?
What's that?
Small Soldiers. I haven't watched that movie in
forever. You know what? I watched
like,
that a couple of years ago, maybe like 2, because I was like, oh man, I haven't seen this in forever, and it was on TV. You're talking about the toy one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's another one with like
the Joe Dante film.
Yeah, that I like Small Soldier. I mean, that was a huge hit when I was a kid. Everybody was talking about that movie.
I haven't seen it in a
video games,
longest time
and shit. I had a lot of fun with that movie. It's such a cool concept, man. It's like very imaginative, and every child
has very Joe Dante.
Yeah, but how many children have like looked at their toys and like wish they would come alive? You know, it's cool.
I think I have to pick up the UK. I think there's a UK Blu-ray.
Have you ever seen Indian in the Cupboard?
Oh yeah, a long time ago. It's like that film, Matilda, fucking Duncan Knows Best. It's that fucking monkey movie. That movie's awesome. It's like those films.
I don't think I've seen Duncan Knows Best. What about Air Bud?
Oh yeah, Air Bud's classic.
Air Bud 1 and 2, good shit. I've never seen any of the others.
Football is the second one.
Yeah, basketball is the first. Football is the second.
Man, I haven't seen those in a long time.
I know.
That's like a franchise that's like exploded in popularity.
And you have all these like other iterations.
It's like Snow Buddies and like these fucking puppies. It's like, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here. I don't want to see this
Jerry
shit.
says, favorite video games from childhood.
Bubble Bobble.
I don't know what that is.
Hands down. Bubble Bobble kicked ass. 2000 Blitz on the N64.
Oh yeah, Blitz was my shit. I had it on the PS1 though.
Yeah,
Blitz. Back when it was NFL Blitz.
Yeah, NFL Blitz 2001. No, 2000 is the shit. I played that a fucking boatload.
My favorite games include like if I'm going through the chronological order of like my first games, the first couple games I ever played was Sonic the Hedgehog, obviously the part 2. I don't even fuck with part 1. That's not my game. 2 and 3, love Sonic 2 and 3. To this day I've never beat Sonic 2. I can get all the way to the end. I can't beat Robotnik. I've never got the Chaos Emeralds. I know that kind of helps. And then Sonic 3 I've beat a bunch. Good game. And then like going outside of the Sega, like a little bit like later Sega, Streets of Rage was my shit. And then like into the PS1 era, because PS1 is where I got very serious about gaming. Like PS1 was my shit, dude. Like PS1 is probably still my favorite system to this day. PS1 Dreamcast. I really love Dreamcast as well. Dreamcast was a favorite of mine.
Dreamcast was good because no fucking piracy protection on that shit. You can literally burn anything to a DVD and put it in your Dreamcast and it will play.
Yeah.
Like no security. That's why that system failed.
It's horrible. Well, I actually, funny enough, I just saw a video where somebody does like this crazy statistical analysis on the Dreamcast, and apparently he's saying that that's not at all why it failed.
You don't think so?
He breaks it down in pure numbers, and I'll link you the video later. It is an amazing video. He goes into the history of the Dreamcast and like breaks down all the numbers. It's incredible. But like PS1, one of the first games I got was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Yeah. Absolutely fucking love Tony Hawk. To this day, I can hop on Tony Hawk and just play through the entire thing, get everything.
Pro Skater 4 I liked a lot.
Pro Skater 1 and 2 are my favorites.
Yeah, Pro Skater 4 and Underground.
Underground was cool, but
I played the most.
I think I played part 1 and 2 so much that I didn't love the other ones as they went on. But I still played them all the way up until like American Wasteland. And then on the PS1 as well, I loved Ape Escape. That was like a really fun game. It was kind of nifty. Twisted Metal 2 was actually the first game I ever got.
Yeah.
Love that game.
I wish Twisted Metal would come back. It tried to make a comeback on the PS3.
I played it.
It died.
It was okay. And then one of my favorite games of all time, and to this day, the series is still very good. And still I could go back to and play all the time is the classic original Resident Evil. The first time I fucking played that game and I walk into that room where Kenneth is dead and that fucking zombie looks back at you, I almost died. I almost fucking died, dude. It was so scary. I've never been that scared in my life, I don't think. Jesus. I'm not even joking. Which version of Bubble Bobble, Jeremy?
NES.
Yes.
Snowboard Kids 2 on the N64. Another fucking awesome racing game.
GoldenEye.
Yeah, GoldenEye's good. I wasn't like.
Well, you didn't have friends to truly enjoy it.
Streets 112. I wasn't like into that
Streets
much.
112 is the best thing ever. Streets of Rage 2 is my favorite video game. It's one of my favorite video games. Yeah, Streets of Rage 2 fucking awesome.
Streets of Rage is good. I remember that.
I think I like part 2 best as well.
They tried to fucking reboot that on the PS2.
Did they?
And it sucked. Yeah.
Contra is great. I was never huge into Altered Beast. Obviously the Mario games on NES, I spent a lot of time. Donkey Kong Country on the SNES, fucking love that game, dude. I forgot how much I love that game. And Diddy's Conquest is
so fucking hard, bro.
Dude,
those games
I've never beat
are brutal, absolutely brutal. If you get to the last few worlds, Donkey Kong Country, it gets fucking mental.
Mm-hmm.
There's
such good games though. Like when you talk about a perfect game in terms of, design, music, visuals, difficulty, fluidity of controls, like Donkey Kong is fucking the bee's knees, man. It's right up there with any great platform. I absolutely love Donkey Kong. I forgot how much I love Donkey Kong until me and Carly were talking about it recently. And yes, Dr. Robotnik's Bean Machine. Recently started playing that. I'm pretty good at it. I whooped Carly's ass and she grew up with the game. So
it's a good puzzle game. I haven't played it.
It's good if you play versus somebody else. That's a lot of fun.
It's similar to
all of them, Tetris, fucking columns.
The fucking a game that came out on the Switch. I can't remember what the hell it's called. It's Tetris versus something.
Do you have a Switch?
No. I don't really play on console now that I bought.
Super Smash Brothers was a huge highlight for me. Melee, especially on the GameCube. We had Smash Bros tournaments at the house, like with 99 stock matches and stuff.
GameCube's underrated system.
GameCube was a great system. I had a lot of fun on the GameCube.
It's finally starting to get its dues, it seems.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be the same thing.
It was Nintendo's last great system.
Yeah, I guess so.
It was.
I've been wanting to pick up a Wii U now that I could get them for like $100, and I want to play the Zelda HD remasters. I've been wanting to play those.
Ocarina of Time?
No, it's Wind Waker and Twilight Princess.
I loved Wind Waker.
It's my favorite Zelda.
An underrated Zelda.
It's my favorite Zelda.
Yeah, Wind Waker is good stuff.
It's the best soundtrack.
Yeah, Wind Waker is good. Ocarina of Time is still my favorite though. Just at the time, I mean, I think that era is probably the best game that came out on the 64.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say that.
Yeah, I've been really into wanting to game retroly again. I've been like craving some of the old titles I used to play all the time lately. Because I used to, like Jeremy, I used to be really into retro gaming. And once it became so expensive and I just grew out of it. Yeah.
It just got absolutely ridiculous that it just wasn't fun anymore for me because, I of course, just like with my DVDs and my Blu-rays, it was the thrill of the hunt to find stuff for a good bargain. And then, the NES and the Super Nintendo got fucking hotter than shit. It's the same thing that's happening right now with the N64. It just got so hard to collect with, and games that used to be, $5. DuckTales used to be a $5 game. Now it's a $20 to $25 game. When I was collecting, Bubble Bobble 2 was a $100 game. Now it's a $300 to a $325 game. It's just shit like that. It's just gotten way too expensive that so many people started getting into it. And on top of that, you got all these, scalpers and things like that it just got absolutely ridiculous. And all the deals started to dry out. And it just wasn't fun anymore for me. And I wish I just would have kept the stuff for a financial thing. I would have got a hell of a lot more money out of what I had now or a year ago than what it was when I sold all my stuff. It's a unfortunate hobby to get into because you really can't build a solid collection these days without having a shit ton of money.
I don't know what things go for, but like you, I sold most of. I think I still have my Genesis. I have maybe 2 Genesis. I have NES still. Couple of games. I kept some of the ones I like Swords of Vermilion and the Mortal Kombat games, of course, the Sonic games. I kept a few of them. But like I got rid of Sega CD. I think I sold that for like $26 or something. I don't know what they go for now, but I feel like it would be more.
I'm not on the uppity up on prices. Sega stuff, I was more of a Nintendo NES guy, clearly by my name. So well, I mean I had a Sega CD, but I wasn't really. Let's check on eBay. I wasn't really into the prices. Yeah.
I got rid of a Sega CD with about 5 games. And I think I got like $26 for the Sega CD, and then like I don't know, like $5 or $6 a piece for the games.
Yeah, they're like $110 now. With that's what the Genesis.
Oh, okay.
Was it a Model 1 or Model 2
CD?
Yeah,
it was the one that fits the Model 2 Genesis.
Oh, okay, so it's a Model 2. Yeah, they're like $100.
Yeah, but I've never actually seen a Model 3 Genesis in. Like when I was growing up, I only seen them in like after I started collecting games. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I didn't even
came out this like existed. Such. I think really it came out just to try and milk the Genesis one more time before Sega was like, fuck that. Because in Brazil, the Genesis was like fucking huge, and games were still making it in Brazil until like a few years ago, which is kind of crazy to think. But you know, it was a big console everywhere else.
Holy shit. Jerry said, I sold my collection in early 2017 for $9.5 grand.
Yeah. Early 2017. If you had the stuff, it was the time. 2016, 2017. It was the time, man. I would probably have $5,000 or $6,000 worth of stuff if I kept.
Yeah, I would have significantly less, but I mean, I would probably still have $1 grand worth of shit. I mean, I sold my PlayStation, my N64.
PlayStation isn't really worth anything.
I know yet, but watch, it'll be the next one.
I don't think so. I think original Xbox is going to be the next.
Xbox is on the come up because a lot of those games are getting harder and harder to find.
Yeah, I think original Xbox is going to be the next.
Which is a system that I've never owned one time in the history of.
Like you could go to pawn shops and stuff like that, and they can't give away those fucking games, so. I think now is probably the time if you're interested to try and collect for that system, because I think in the next few years,
I just hate that system. I just wouldn't want to.
Why? It's a great underrated system.
I hate it.
Solid.
I've never liked. I thought the controllers was fucking trash.
Yeah, because that's the original. Have you used the second generation Xbox controller?
No.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty. Xbox 360 controller is the greatest controller of all time. Hands down. There's never been a better controller than the 360 controller. So
I'd agree with that. The only thing when you're talking controllers though, for the games that are coming out, yes, like the Xbox controller is fantastic. But play a retro game like Collection or something and try to use the D-pad, and it just is not. That's where it fails. Is the D-pad.
Well, the thing with like through the PS1 DualShock all the way now to the PS4 controller, it really hasn't changed in its design. I mean, it hasn't really changed in design. Sure, they moved the buttons closer and things like that, but the ultimate design has been the same. So I think, if you go back and play the classic, PS1 or PS2 games, it's going to feel pretty natural if you're still gaming on a PS4, just simply because they haven't really changed the controller.
Yeah, I don't mind the PlayStation controller. I think it's a solid controller. Like, it was my favorite for the longest time. Obviously, I went PS1, PS2. An underrated controller to me is the GameCube controller.
Yeah, I just don't dig the yellow C stick on the GameCube controller. And I don't think I've really held it in a while.
I just always felt like it was comfortable. That's what I liked about the GameCube controller. Yeah, we did go. Austin just called us nerds. We did go really hard and fast into video games. It was like super just.
Hey.
But yeah, I mean, I was a lifelong gamer. I've been gaming since my fucking hands could work. So I love games. I don't play like I used to. I did almost pick up The Witcher 3 though.
It's awesome. That's what I'm playing right now.
It was only $20 at Walmart.
That's what I'm playing right now.
I was like, should I do this?
It's so good. But if you don't like, you know, if you're into games that you're not into playing side quests and things like that, you're probably not going to have a good time.
King. I love side quests. It's my favorite thing.
It's all about just building the character, and because if you just go right into just doing the side quests, main story quest, you're probably gonna get fucking destroyed. By State of Decay 2, hell no. I heard that shit is buggy as fucking
I heard it is too.
I heard it's absolutely horrible.
I didn't like the first game, honestly.
I mean, it's good. Like, I played it for a little bit. I mean, that was back it came out when I was in high school. So I was morally playing, you know, Halo 3 a lot and
thought you didn't
Fallout.
Play multiplayer.
Halo 3, man. I played Halo 3 a lot. I liked Halo 3. It's the best Halo, hands down. It's the most complete.
I fucking hate all Halos.
Oh, Halo 3 is amazing, bro. It's so good.
I'm obviously stuck on that Fortnite train right now.
Nah, it's gonna die soon.
Fortnite. No, are you kidding me? It's the most popular game.
Give it like 2 more months, and it's gonna die, and nobody's gonna care, and something else is better is gonna come out. Look at fucking PUBG.
I guarantee.
No one talks about PUBG anymore.
Dude, did you see what they were offering for the competitive play for Fortnite?
Yeah, it's like 100,000 in-game dollars or whatever.
No. The actual competitive play that they're like the league that they're gonna build.
No.
Take a guess.
$1 million bucks.
Nope.
More than that?
Yep.
Really? 2.5.
Close, but no.
Higher than that?
Yep.
Really? 3 million then.
Well, let me see. No, getting closer, but not quite.
2.75.
Nope.
3.25.
Nope. Do you give up?
Just fucking tell me. Who gives a shit? I get the point. 100 million. Get the fuck out of here.
That's what they're saying, bro.
They could suck my balls. 100 million.
100 million.
I don't buy that.
In the first season of competitive play.
No way.
Not Impossible. A grand prize, but throughout.
Yeah. Bullshit.
That's what they're saying. That's what Epic is saying, dude. It's
how the fuck are they making $100 million off a game that's free to play? I don't give a shit how much.
Dude, because they're making so much bank off of their fucking things, man. They're fucking whatchamacallits.
Ron Weasley, that's the first one. I've heard Harry Potter growing up my entire life. Everybody fucking called me Harry Potter, so it'd be called Ron Weasley. That's a new one to me. Where the fuck are you saying $100 million, bro?
It's on Forbes, dude.
Oh, man.
So I think this game is going to be around for a while.
50 duos will face off for $3 million in charity prizing, $1 million the first.
Okay, but what it's saying here is
Epic. You should play The Last of Us. The Last of Us is fucking awesome. That game is amazing. It's really good. You'd like it.
It says right here. It says this was posted on the 21st, so 2 days ago. Epic Games has a unique approach to the battle royale genre and to video games in general. You could sum it up as go big or go home. That's certainly the case when it comes to budding Fortnite esports scene. In a brief announcement this morning, Epic pledged $100 million in prize pool money for the 2018-2019 competitive season.
I believe it when I see it.
I mean, dude, hey,
that sounds fishy to me. I don't believe it's that successful.
They're saying that the top 10 esports combined, including League of Legends, including Dota, including Call of Duty, combined their prize pools is only
Call of Duty's kind of dead.
Call of Duty's dying fast.
Yeah.
It's a very quick death. They fucked themselves though, so I can't even it's their fault.
You gonna watch the hockey games?
I did want to watch it. Is it on?
Yeah, it just started 2 minutes ago.
Yeah. Okay, so just a couple more minutes here, guys, and then we're going to get out of here. Comments in the chat. I've played it for 2 days straight.
I think the real question is, are you coming here in October?
I don't know. I want to, though. I just don't. It's hard for me to say definite on things.
Why don't you fucking just commit to it, bro? If Carly's gonna fucking want to come, why don't you come? Not no.
We'll see. I do want. I think I'm closer this year than I ever have been before. I'm just, with certain finances, different things like that. I just need to see if it's something that I could do with like the way my life is right now with some of my responsibilities outside of.
Won't be that expensive, bro.
Yeah.
Just waste money on gas to get here.
I don't know if we're going to take that train thing or drive. The drive doesn't look that complicated until you actually get into Chicago. Because the drive is like 500 and some miles on one road, but actually getting into Chicago looks a little complicated. I don't know if you could elaborate on that. Is it complicated?
No.
Oh, are you just saying that?
I mean, it's fucking driving. I drove all the way to fucking.
Yeah, but you have just grown confidence in this department. For the longest time, you got bad anxiety.
I do get bad anxiety. I still don't like to do it.
You still get bad anxiety?
Oh, hell yeah. Hell to the motherfucking yeah. Especially if I'm with people. If I'm by myself, I do okay. But
you should have heard the speech Tom Savini gave today. It was awesome.
About what?
About the graduates and what a lot of them have went on to do at that school, like working on it and Deadpool 2 and Galaxy or Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and he listed off like 30
Well, if
movies.
he's naming all these movies, then he should fucking pay his students for freaking making WrestleMania costumes. I don't know completely bullshit. Fucking WWE signed a $1 billion deal with Fox, and they can't fucking pay their students for their costumes. Suck my balls, dude. No way. That's fucking fishy as shit, bro.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't know what she got paid. She could have got paid a bunch. She could have got paid nothing. I don't know. I never asked her. But Austin says he's already bored at Fortnite. I get bored pretty easy too. But that's just because I don't play any game a long time now.
Now Exploding Heads is here. How can we leave?
Have I watched any good movies lately? Not really. I watched Swamp Thing the other day, which was not good. I actually, Escape from Alcatraz, non-horror classic though. I watched
Blade Runner 2049. That movie kicks ass.
Yeah,
it's fucking great. It's one of the most visually stunning films.
Carly says
it's awesome.
Hashtag FJP. Jerry says, would you, Carly? Tell him, Jeremy. He put blah 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 blah.
Why did you skip over her comment that says he hates playing ahead and hates planning last minute? Why don't you carry that statement head on, bro?
Exploding Head says, hey yo, I assume that's Dave. My daughter's playing Fortnite as we speak now. I know it's Dave. Yeah, Fortnite is an addicting game, but it's also
never my kind of games.
Even LaPierre, Deadly Eyes is in fact out of print, which is a 82 title as well. So that's interesting. Let's do a couple more of these before we get out of here, Jeremy. So we have Tenebrae, which we've talked about before.
Damn, Deadly Eyes is going for $90 now.
Tenebrae classic. I would be very shocked if it wasn't on multiple lists.
Yeah.
Here's one. I don't know if this is horror or not, but it was listed on horror when I searched these titles. The Sword and Sorcerer seems like a sword and sorcery movie to me. A mercenary with a three-bladed sword rediscovers his royal heritage when he is recruited to help a princess foil a brutal tyrant and powerful sorcerers plan to conquer the land. Does that sound horror in the slightest to you?
No.
Probably a skip.
Who made this list?
I just typed in horror films from 82, and that's what came up. Okay, here's one. This is one that I've kind of been interested in. Never seen it. It's titled Extra. Have you seen this, Jeremy?
It's getting. I know that 88 Films was supposed to release a Blu-ray. I think it's a hard to see film in the home media market. I know that was like a big deal that 88 Films was releasing it on Blu-ray.
There's 4 extras.
Maybe I'm thinking of something else then, but I swore that was the case. It's an alien film, right? Alien creature feature.
So it says Tony's father, Sam, abducted by aliens 3 years earlier, returns to Earth and seeks out his wife and son. But Rachel has since been living with Joe, and the reunion is awkward. Joe doesn't trust Sam, and Rachel can't quite decide what her feelings are for the two men. Sam is not the same as when he left, and he begins affecting Tony in frightening ways.
Sounds like basket case.
Does it? Not really.
Okay.
Okay, so that's extra. I mean, that's one I'll definitely get to because I've never seen it. I hear people like it. Okay, here's an interesting one. This one is a film that I've owned forever, never given a time of day to. And it is Silent Rage, starring Chuck motherfucking
I said I wanted to watch this.
Yeah, it says a mentally ill man in a small Texas town goes on a killing rampage and is fatally wounded by police. When doctors use an experimental serum to bring him back to life, the killer develops superhuman strength, and the town sheriff, Chuck Norris, must pursue him. That sounds a little wild and out there, huh?
Sounds like a Canon Films type of film.
It is canon, isn't it?
Sounds like it.
I think it might be. Let's see. The live stream is 2 out of 10 because JP is ignoring my disses. I just picked up Braveheart Steelbook, fantastic films.
I heard that 4K is awesome.
Dave says the 82 will be easy like all 80s years are. I already know my top 8. I mean, hell, I can make a top 10 easy right now. But I think the fun thing is to go in and check out some of the films that I've never seen and maybe have an effect on my list. I guess that's where your 9 and 10 spot are open up for. But yeah, I did do a rough draft the other day. And I looking at, out of the 30 or so films that I've seen from this year, trying to fit them into 10 spots is very difficult. So if there's more films that are good that I haven't seen, that's frightening. Yeah. Is the new Itchy the Killer released uncut? Jeremy, is it?
No idea.
I have no idea either. I have that, but I've never seen the original one.
Sounds like a mood squash.
Silent Rage is fun. So Dave is giving Silent Rage his seal of approval, which I didn't expect. I didn't even expect that he had seen that film. I had always avoided it because it's literally over there on VHS. I had it as a kid. I always avoided it because I thought it was just like a Chuck Norris, like Walker, Texas Ranger thing. I didn't know it had any like killers and shit in it. Glad to see you own Boyhood on Criterion, Jeremy. One of my
hell yeah, dude!
films.
Boyhood is fucking awesome. Boyhood is great. I actually saw that film with Mr. Linklater in person when it first came out. Before it was coming out, he was going around showing the film to a bunch of colleges. I was lucky enough to see it with him. Very fantastic and interesting film, of course, shot over 12 years. Once every summer, they would shoot a little bit of it for 2 weeks. At the end of 12 years, they pieced it together. They got the film very ambitious and classic idea. Mr.
In other words, it is the exact example of what Criterion likes.
I mean, they didn't. I mean, it's a Paramount film. I mean, they backed it and everything, and they released it theatrically. So, I mean, it's a very ambitious and pretentious film, but you know what you're going to get with Richard Linklater when he makes a coming of age film. You know, you'll get quality.
Gotcha.
Great.
All right, let's do a couple more of these before we get out of here. And chat says Dave said that the Silent Rage is good. He watched it for the year of the slasher. Let me ask you this: was it in fact a slasher? Or was that just one of those films that kind of got lumped in there from other people on the internet? Thoughts on Doom Asylum getting an Arrow release? I don't know what that is.
Me neither.
It has a great cover, though. Danny says, peace, Jeremy.
Danny who? Oh, what's up, Danny?
So next up on the 82 preview is Slumber Party Massacre. When's the last time you've seen that one, Jeremy?
2015. 16, really? 15. Women in Horror.
Did you see it on theatrical?
No, I saw it in my Women in Horrors class the last time I saw it when I was
still
in school.
Yeah, because it was directed by a woman. Yeah, Slumber Party Massacre, man. I remember flipping through the channels and it was on the IFC Film Network, like way back in the day. And it was like the locker room scene at the beginning where it's just a bunch of naked girls. And I was like, oh, shit. You know, I was like, yeah. Exactly. So I started peeping it and I was like, I liked it. And then I watched it again when I bought the Roger Corman like triple play with part 2 and 3. I watched all 3 of them back in like 2011. I didn't like them, but I think that I have grown so much since then and really have dug my heels in deep in like 80s slashers. I can almost guarantee you that I will like them now, just based on my memory of them. I think that I will enjoy some of the stuff that maybe I wasn't in tune with back then. So I'm excited to revisit that one. I would really like to do the trilogy on the show one day. Next film here, we have The Beast Within. This was a film that Tom Holland either directed or wrote. Forget which one. I think he wrote it. And this is a film that I actually seen on 35 millimeter before. Jeremy, have you ever seen The Beast Within?
No.
Okay. Very weird movie. It says, in the beginning of the movie, you see a woman getting raped by a man creature of some sort. The movie takes place years later when the child that was the result of that rape is on a rampage looking for a girl to rape of his own to start the process all over again. Okay. Mm-hmm. This is a movie that I think if I had seen it again, like when I had seen it, I didn't really like it that much, but I was with like my cousins and it was just like I don't think it was the right movie to watch with like my 3 cousins who are not into horror movies and stuff like that. And the vibes were just bad. I felt like everybody wanted to leave. So
try watching Pink Flamingos with your mom, bro.
I could probably do that.
I think that was probably the most uncomfortable experience I had watching a movie with my mom.
I think I don't know. I have a different relationship with my mom.
I mean, I have a really good relationship with my mom. I take her to everything I see. Yeah. You know, I've taken her to some amazing and weird films, I think, and I try to expand her mindset of the theatrical experience and what it means to me, because going to the theater and seeing films, you know, with an audience, if it's, you know, even a newer film like Dunkirk, and trying to have her understand the way that the movie's filmed and the different kind of cameras and aspect ratios and the theatrical experience as a whole. You know, I've taken her to some cool stuff, and you know, she loves horror films and everything like that. So, you know, I just think with Pink Flamingos is a little bit too much, in my opinion. You know, seeing a guy with a gaping asshole, you know, it is what it is, I think. And you know, when Multiple Maniacs came out on Criterion, we watched it. You know, it's just an uncomfortable experience, that one. But
I don't think I've ever seen a John Waters film.
Yeah, they're an experience. They're definitely an audio driven kind of.
I like John Waters.
Audience.
I love listening to him talk.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we have Alone in the Dark. This is one that I'm very excited to see. I've never seen it. It says a quartet of murderous psychopaths break out of a mental hospital during a power blackout and lay siege to their doctor's house. Sounds super cool. Directed by Jack Shoulder. Have you seen this?
What's it called again?
Alone in the Dark.
No. I heard of the game.
It sounds interesting. I've heard very good things about it. That's one that's like heavy on my radar for that year.
Does it have a release?
Yeah, I think it does have a release, but I can't remember. It might be on Blu-ray. I think it's on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Unless I'm thinking of One Dark Night.
I don't know.
Which also came out in 82. After that, we have our Fulci. So far, like a lot of the heavy hitter directors are getting some shine. We had Craven, we've had Fulci and Argento, as well as Tobe Hooper. So the New York Ripper, a burned out New York police detective teams up with a colleague psychoanalyst to track down a vicious serial killer randomly striking and killing vicious women around New York City. Have you seen this, New York Ripper?
No, but it sounds pretty generic.
Well, the killer quacks like a duck.
Yeah. Did the New York Ripper crack like a duck?
What?
Isn't the New York Ripper a pretty famous character? Hasn't that made a lot of films based?
I don't think so.
No, maybe I'm thinking of something else.
I think that's just.
It's Fulci, right?
Yeah, this is Fulci.
Yeah.
We covered it on year 2 of our Italian horror month, which we covered Zombie, New York Ripper as well.
The Alone in the Dark DVD. It's only released by Anchor Bay, and it currently costs $98.95 on Amazon.
Well, goddamn. Looks like we're going to have to go alternate routes.
Super out of print.
Well, that needs re-released, I'd assume. Yeah, New York Ripper, pretty cool. It's fun. There's like a lot of racism in it, I remember. Mm-hmm. In a certain scene, seems pretty racist. It's hard to remember. There's a very good eye slice in there. Very good eye horror, much, Fulci eye horror. There's a razor blade to the eye. Definitely worth watching for prep. The Blue Underground Blu-ray, I recommend grabbing if you're going to watch it.
Thanks, Carly. That's Jack the Ripper. Thanks.
Is that who you were actually talking about?
Probably. I say stupid things.
Okay. Let's see. A couple more here. Q, the Winged Serpent. Have you seen this?
Nope.
Larry Cohen, basically a giant monster attacking New York.
You missed the first period, bro.
I didn't like it that much. Okay, we'll just finish up these last.
Capitals are winning 1-0. 1840 really? In the first.
Holy crap! The One Dark Night. A strange man named something dies shortly after discovering a way to become even more powerful in death through telekinesis. Yeah. On the night of his burial in the crypt,
Julie released this on Blu-ray.
Julie is to spend the night there as part of an initiation rite. Supervised by 2 other girls, the crypt becomes a scene of horror. Raymer returns with the life and deploys the horrific telekinetic powers. Sounds cheesy 80s fun.
I think Moods reviewed this on the
Probably
show.
did. Night Warning. Oh, this is Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker, starring the great Bill Paxton. I've heard nothing but good things about this movie.
Yep. And
so
Code Red.
Very excited to finally see it. Yeah, it's a Code Red title.
Which means it's going to be hard to find.
Which means I'll watch it online. Then we have The Incubus, which I've also heard good things about. In a small New England town, a young teenage boy claims he has dreams of a young woman being brutally raped and murdered.
Also very hard to find.
A doctor and a local sheriff discovers that the boy's dream is real and the sinister occult might be behind the brutal murder.
But it's on Prime.
I believe this was one of the Katarina Nightmare Theater releases.
Yeah, it's Scorpion.
Yeah. So, yeah, but it is on Prime. A lot of these titles are on Prime, so that's pretty good. And then finally, this part here, we have Turkey Shoot.
Exploitation.
Which is an exploitation film. In the near future, after a unspecified Holocaust, survivors are herded into prison camps. There, they are hunted for sport by the leaders of the camp. Paul, one of the newest prisoners, is determined not to go down quietly as the others. Awesome! That just sounds right up my alley. Cool.
Seems to be a lot of horror comedies in '82.
They just sat like the Aussie films are just crazy in plot. It's so cool. Anyway, guys, let me just quickly read up the comments and then we're gonna get out of here. Carly dissed Jeremy by saying Jack the Ripper. Carly liked New York Ripper. We actually watched that together. Always willing to help a fellow idiot out. Let's go OV Ovechkin. No. Blu-ray Addict. I am so pumped for 3 from Hell.
You already talked about it, bro.
It's good as House of 1,000 Corpses. Pretty good. Devil's Rejects Monitor. Yeah, if you wait for the VOD to come out, go back. We actually started off the show by talking about that. Also, Blu-ray Addict said it could be one of the best horror trilogies. Absolutely. Rob's last 2 movies were bad, so he better deliver. Lords of Salem was fantastic.
Yeah, Lords of Salem was really good.
Favorite David Lynch film? Jeremy. Eraserhead?
Yeah, or Elephant Man.
I have yet to see a single David Lynch film. So bad on me. Best non-franchise slasher. Probably my favorite is My Bloody Valentine. Probably. If you count that. Or Maniac, if you count those.
Gutter balls.
Anyway, somebody did ask me before when I'm continuing my collection video.
One shelf 857.
I'm actually probably going to be recording it next week, so look out for that. And hope you guys enjoyed. We'll do these more frequently now that we're not doing the show for a little while. But
so my idea.
It was his idea. This is a little bit of a preview for 82. There's still a lot more films to actually talk about that we haven't talked about. There's still, you could still probably watch another 20 movies and still be in the good territory.
Yeah, not like 76.
Yeah, not like 76. Anyway, Cemetery Man t-shirt, thank you. Carly got me this.
Oh yeah, I saw it in the picture. You were smiling, looking like a non-gangsta.
Yeah. All right. Deuces, guys. Let's go watch hockey.